sort of, that kind of Magic the Gathering, you know, is brewing, like Black Lotus, like there's stuff brewing. There's, garbage Pail Kids. There's things brewing. For me, Pokemon, because of AJ and because little Lou on my team and Tyler, they're so into it. They're like sucking me into it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Lou posting for sure.
Wrestling is super on my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really
I know
like
you've been big into that.
I think wrestling is similar to Pokemon and comic books. Andre the Giant forever. Hulk Hogan, The Rock. So I think there's something there too. And people that are really into wrestling, I really push towards getting to wrestling cards if they want to do a little bit of business. Like, I think it's a nice space.
Okay. I know there's a few more.
The other thing
recently.
The other thing I look for is things that people don't see, like weird things, like panini basketball stickers. I think are super interesting. I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Because I see soccer stickers mattering. So does that bleed into, as America comes bigger on soccer, and all of a sudden Messi and Ronaldo and all these are sticker rookies? Does that mean that basketball panini rookies are interesting?
Sure.
I've never been really super hot on Marvel cards. But I could see that getting hot. I've been buying four 1970s, like the whole Incredible Hulk stickers. There's some interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
I haven't really dug in, but like things that people don't see. I think promo cards, like there's this Charles Barkley JMS 1986 like card that 85 that came out the year before. Like I'm very fascinated by cards that were weird cards that were made before the actual rookie.
Right.
So there's like
one of my favorite cards. It's not up here. Oh yeah, here it is. The promo Michael Jordan, like stuff like that. I absolutely love that.
Dude, that card is super cool, and that's a Nike card. And if you think about it, right, like if a lot of people come in, if this becomes super big hobby, why would a flea rookie in '86 be better than a Nike rookie in '85? Like, so that's
right.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the if you told me in 7 years that's worth more than the '86 Fleer? That would not, with the population, that wouldn't confuse me. Like, so those are things I'm looking for, just trying to figure shit out. There's a Haze 68 Jack in the Box card. I like the 1972 Icy Slurpee basketball cards a lot.
Yeah.
So I think the weird shit has a real big potential just because of supply.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Makes sense.
I wish you well.
Think you so much for your time, man.
Kevin, I do think UFC cards have a shot. I think UFC cards have a real fucking shot. I think UFC and eSports cards are going to be, in 20 years, very interesting to debate. Very interesting. I know nothing about them. All right, let's keep it going. Big shout out to everybody on Twitch, by the way. Hey, bro.
Hey. All right, sweet. Wow.
What's your name?
Tyler.
Tyler nice
Gordon. Yeah, from Arkansas.
Nice to meet you, brother.
All right, sweet. Yeah, I'm just so nervous, excited, man. I've been following you for a while now, but it's just surreal seeing you here. It's like having another Make-A-Wish happen. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've been into sport. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right. So I've been into sports cards for a while now. I've been getting into baseball real big because, my fiance, that's the one sport. She said that she'll actually go and watch it with me. So I said that's a big plus. I'll definitely get into that. I learned that Mike Trout actually worked with the Travelers down here in Arkansas, so that was awesome.
That's cool.
I've been getting big into that, made over $500 on sports cards already, so on disability that helps out quite a bit. I've even, thought about with all the other sports cards that I've had that, are worth like nothing. You buy packs all the time and you have these other cards that are worth like a penny and stuff. I've been thinking about building like my own like storage units for it. Like I've been gluing together the cards with like Mod Podge with the different players and everything.
Yeah, dude, that's really clever.
Yeah, and then I'm not gonna sell them. I'm just gonna go around and give them to some of these other YouTubers for free because I've been watching like Up North Collectors and Pac-Man and Jab's Family. He's another guy that I love watching. That's especially awesome. You. I don't have too many football cards. I'd love to get some Jets cards to make one for you as well. But
listen,
yeah.
Do me a favor. Team up with Dustin. I'm gonna buy you a box of football cards. Send it to you. Oh. Hopefully you pull something great, and then with the commons you build something.
Sweet. All right. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me plenty of time.
Yeah, I think that will work.
All right,
my friend?
Yeah, I was about to get to that. What I was wondering is you're really awesome at watching these players. You don't just watch their stats. You, watch their whole life and what they're doing. You really capture like their motivation and run after that. But what are some of like the baseball players that you're going after that you feel aren't really getting enough attention yet?
The one player I'm very fascinated by. So listen, I think Acuna is an all-time talent, but I think his prices are in a certain place. Baseball's tough because, like, first of all, I think there's a lot of players. I think Francisco Lindor is underpriced because I just think he's such a great player and a great dude. Javier Baez has my attention. I'm a very big fan of Juan Soto as an actual baseball player, and so I think that will play out well. You know, so those are some of the kids that I think are really interesting. I haven't truly gone crazy yet on baseball. Like, and I think baseball, you know, I'm just so deep right now into basketball focused wise and wrestling and so, but baseball is ironically the sport I know the most of because I played very hardcore fantasy baseball. So I have a deep knowledge of like Adley Rich, you know, like, and all this, you know, all the kids that are coming up, like, and so it's interesting. But Soto I think is just a super charismatic, confident kid. So he's not inexpensive, which is the problem. I don't have a real dark horse sleeper. You know what I mean?
No, I got you. Do you have any old legends you're looking out for? Because I know Mark McGwire was one that popped up real fast not that long ago.
I'm so much more passionate about vintage basketball than I am vintage baseball.
I got you.
That's kind of where I'm at.
No, that's fine. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. I got some basketball too. I've got some. I got some R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson. I've been trying to get into that too. I mean, you know, basketball, like you said, is one of the top ones. It's getting expensive.
But listen to me. Do things for life, and if you have your girl interested in baseball and you're interested in baseball, there'll be plenty of business opportunity in baseball, and it seems for you a lot of life happiness. You don't have to force it in places that don't excite you just because there's money in it. You need to be happy and win. And I think baseball has plenty of stuff. And by the way, I'm going to do my fantasy baseball draft now in a couple weeks. And I have a very funny feeling when I study for that for a week, hardcore, that I'm going to come out of that excited about some baseball stuff. You know, just it's living life, you know?
I'll be watching for that.
All right, brother. All right. I wish you well.
Yeah.
Take care.
You as well. All right. See you.
Bye-bye. This is fun. It's a nice morning. Adrian.
Hey, Gary V. How you doing, man?
Good, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being on.
I put on this Canucks shirt. Go to Canucks, go!
I mean, the '94 Stanley Cup is the highlight of my sports life. My first.
I mean, that was the best finals ever.
Pavel Bure was my favorite non-Ranger, and you can imagine what Pavel Bure's penalty shot against the Rangers against Richter. I don't know if I've ever been more nervous in a 45-second span in my entire life.
That's crazy. Is it true? I heard on a podcast you were at Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. That's crazy? That's crazy.
It's really the sports highlight of my life. It really, really is.
That's awesome. So I got into sports card when I found you about 6 months ago. You were talking about TikTok and you were like right about everything. Then you started talking about getting into buying Giannis cards for like $140 and then selling like. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should like take a look at sports cards from when I collected them, at 16, that kind of thing. So I jumped right in, and you're right, you had to do a ton of research.
Yes.
And I thought I would spend, a couple $100, but when I started looking at graded cards, a couple $100 didn't really, take you that far. So I kind of blew, like my budget right there. So my question for you is, if you have a limited budget, under $1,000, $500 or something, would you rather go?
Which is 99% of people, and which is the whole way I lived my whole life with sports cards the first time. So
for sure.
I understand. Go ahead.
So would you rather go graded cards, or would you rather buy raw and ungraded and try and grade them? Because I kind of learned on this kind of like journey that buying raw and ungraded, you almost need a skill to almost pre-grade them.
Not a skill, real skill to pre-grade them.
So there's a real risk-reward thing?
Or you buy raw and you sell it raw. The gentleman a couple of moments ago bought Lucas for 15 raw and selling them for 150 raw.
So just sell them raw. So don't even try and grade them if you don't want to put in the time to like learn and everything. Okay, got it.
I would say learn, but listen, when you don't have a lot of money and you want to make more money to both for your own health of your family, or because you want to fund your hobby, because you want to buy some, Bure PSA 10 rookie cards because you decided, then you need to build up slowly. And I think raw to raw is the easiest way to build up slowly.
Right. And if you've got a budget, would you rather go established players, or would you kind of like look, because I know you've talked about kind of like 80-20 where you're really taking a risk with like established players.
First of all, sports is a gamble. Like, they could get hurt.
Yeah. You
can be all excited about Jaren Jackson Jr., but if he gets hurt, the market's going to be soft.
Yeah. Well, that's what I bought a couple like Kobe Bryant rookie cards where you almost knew with like Hall of Fame, that was almost like guaranteed. Even nothing's guaranteed, but it was almost guaranteed to go up, right?
Let me say this. Nothing's guaranteed, but it's like buying real estate in Manhattan or buying like a blue chip 50-year company stock. It's going to be very, very, very hard for Kobe Bryant rookie cards to not be worth more in 20 years. It's going to be very hard.
Yeah. I'm just going to hold on to mine for now, but mine almost sold by mistake when I put it up on ComC. I'm like, I'm going to put it up for like double the price. There's no chance it's going to sell. And then it kind of sold and someone bought it.
And you were like, did I make a mistake? That's always the game. But look, when you have a small budget, which 99% of people do, you need to do a lot of buying and selling up, little profits. And this is literally how I built my first baseball card business.
Yeah.
I had no money. It was literally $1.
You just spend the money you have, just learn on eBay how to buy it, how to sell it, and all that is just, all that was just like new stuff to me. So I guess it's a good way to learn. Awesome. Cool.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm definitely enjoying it. It's just like I enjoy like lots of different things, and it was just such a shock getting back into it from like 1990 hockey cards. Like you think that it's like completely different. So yeah, awesome. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Definitely enjoying it for sure. All right, awesome, Gary. See you later.
Keith Hopkins is killing it today. Kind of sold. That's right. No, it's sold. It's sold. Matt.
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, listen, you got me back into sports cards after 40. So I tried to think back and said, when did I last buy a baseball card? And back then it was baseball cards, and I was saying probably when I was like 20 years old or something like that, maybe 15. So I had a quick story for you. When I lived in Providence. I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, still in Rhode Island. And my uncle had a typewriter shop where he repaired typewriters. So this tells you how far back it is, right? They had typewriters.
Yeah.
He hired me at 25 cents an hour. I was probably like 9 years old to help clean the typewriters and do all that stuff. And it was about 3 blocks away. And no matter how long I worked, I always got at least a buck or two. So I would never go straight home. There was a candy store that was right down on I Street in Providence. And I would go there, and there was an old guy who ran that store. And if he wasn't open, he lived upstairs. You'd go around the back stairs, knock on the door, and say, "Bill, can you open up?" Because that money was burning in my pocket. And he'd go down, open it up, and I'd go down and buy however many.
I'm really live, Stephen. Go ahead. So you'd buy as much as you could, right?
Buy as much as I could. The money never got home, and then I'd sit on the front steps and open up the cards with the pink bubble gum and stack those up for the week and all that other stuff. So, but that's how far back I go. So I heard you talking about sports cards, and I said, I'm going to look into this. And I started looking into it. I said, boy, what a difference. There's so much to know. So I really educated myself, and now we got into it. And I say my 21-year-old twin son and I do it together. We have a great time. So we're at the beach. I was at the beach on Saturday with my wife. I get a text. Raina, who's a soccer player, they're trying to educate me on soccer. Raina just scored, and we have his card, right? So it's just so much fun to do it with them, and we send some in for grading. And so that's what I would tell, fathers, like, hey, listen, you got a son or a daughter who can have a ball with your kid, even outside the investments.
100%. Matt, listen, I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur kid. It's just who I am. Everyone's different. Like, of course, the business part is there for me. It's always been there for me. But sports and the hobby is a huge thing. And the friendship and the texting Brandon at 1 a.m. and saying, hey, what do you think about Javier Baez? Because he's a Cubs fan. And, like, I've talked to my brother AJ more this week than I have in, like, a month, because it's not like business. It's sports cards. Like, it brings so much joy.
It's a really good time. But one of the things that we that we got together and started investing in is Topps Project 2020.
Yes.
I got in around card 67, which was right in the beginning of May, and the print runs are like 7,500, and then they were steady at that point, and then the market the prices started to explode, just started really going up, and everybody kind of knew that, wait a minute, this doesn't, people were pre-selling, and then a Griffey card came out, I think it was like the end of May, and it sold like 100,000, and it blew the market up, and since then, the market's just trying to figure itself out. Prices have totally, crashed. So I wanted to get your opinion on how familiar you are with Topps Project.
People have been asking me left and right. Like I didn't see how it launched. Even hearing you say number 67 card came, like I didn't even know there were 67 cards out. I thought there was a lot less.
They're up to about 100 right now.
It's one of those feast or famine things. Probably in 10 years, the first 10, like the cliche, I'm completely undereducated. The cliche thing that happens with sets like this is the first 10, 15 in 10 years hold real value. But, these are kind of things that tend to go up and then down.
Do you think these are, so there's 20 artists doing, 20 cards. There'll be 400 in total. They release 2 a day. Do you think these are baseball cards or are they works of art?
I think that they're baseball cards with works of art DNA in them.
So do you think because one of the thoughts was, well, this is bringing a lot of people from outside who don't buy baseball cards.
That was happening before me. Obviously, I had a community that became aware of it, like you. Yeah. There's going to be this project. Wait till somebody really famous gets into it. Giannis posted stuff about his own cards. Wait till a famous rapper or, it's the cat's out of the bag. It's like video games. It's like sneakers. It's like anything else. Like cards have been. People that are like in the hobby a long time. There was people in the hobby. Somebody said to me, Gary, I've been in the hobby, for 9 years, 12 years, 15 years. I'm like, bro, I get it. I was in the hobby for 12 years back in the 80s. Like, this is a forever thing, so it's going to ebb and flow. I do think things like Project 2020, they're not the kind of things that excite me. I'm not into art like that, so that's one. I'm very excited for the artists, good on them. I hope it's going great for them. I'm happy for the people that like iconic cards in cool ways, but for the people that are looking at it as an investment, it's not the place where I go. To me, it's older rookies, vintage, basketball, soccer. It's just not the place where I go. But that doesn't mean I'm right. They may go 10x, 20x, 50x. I don't know. But it doesn't feel for me like the place that I go. It's not where I go.
Do you think there's something if you have those, there's something that you would grade or you would just leave them? I mean, if they're baseball, do you think you grade them or you don't bother grading them? You just leave them as they are?
Grading's a tricky game. Like, to me, it's like you grade when you know it's worth it for you. So, maybe you want to see how low they go and then decide if you want to grade them.
Okay. All right. Well,
awesome.
Very good.
Good luck. I wish you well.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, everybody who joined today. A lot of fun. This is just such an incredible hobby. Please leave a tweet with what you thought about the show. And I wish you nothing but the best. And if you're just finding about cards now, please, 100 hours of education. This is not a get rich quick. It's not a gold rush. It's so hot right now that there's a lot of risk of it going down at some point, but there is long-term opportunity if you're educated. And as you can see, there's so many nuances that make it fun. And so I hope you have fun with it. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. And the people that are going to win over the next 5 to 7 years are going to be very comfortable in controlled fucking chaos. You don't love the process. This is dreams we're talking about. Dreams require sacrifice. All of your actions have to then map to it. Backpack. Nobody gives a shit about where you grew up. The whole game is scaling the unscalable. It's fucking hard work. It's being respectful. It's being a good person. Do that. That's just a good idea. It's there. The flip game's there. This house right here, there's $400 to be in. I stay in my lane. Real fucking tight. But you can't be crippled. everybody here is judging themselves. You're looking at what's in front of you right now. You're losing because you're laying in your bed looking at somebody's fucking glamorous photoshopped picture of them doing something cool, and you're envious and you're jealous and you're impatient, and it's crippling your upside. Let me just say it one more time if you're confused what I just said. I say put your fucking flag on the ground of who the fuck you are. Whoever provides the most value always wins. You're entering the greatest 5-year window of your life. My only answer to me or anybody is just try shit. Shut your business down and go work for an apparel company for 3 years. Nobody you've ever met got there without the hard work. So you better get your speed up. You better work harder. You better work smarter. If you can't Google stuff, you're not going to be able to do anything that I'm telling you to do. Gary GTV, my new account. Check me out. Hope you enjoy it.